Hi, Scott Julie with the Woolsey team. Welcome to episode number 9 of, what do we call this?
Happy hour.
Happy hour. It's Scott Julie. Welcome to episode number 9 of Happy Hour with the Woolsey. Scott, tell us where we are today.
Guys, we got a real treat for you today. We're down at Common Good Cafe and Social House. Now, this isn't your everyday run-of-the-mill pub or restaurant. This place is unbelievable and it's super unique to Barrie. We're right down at the bottom of Bayfield Street. We've had clients, we've had viewers, and we've had other restaurateurs tell us you have to check this place out. So without further ado, let's go have a peek. Guys, if you haven't been to Common Good Cafe and Social House yet, you're in for a real treat. Everything here is all about the experience. Everything from exceptional coffee to exceptional design and space in here, not to mention the food and then the cocktails. It's really got everything under the sun. They're open for dinner, they're open for breakfast, they're open for lunch, plus they got live music every Friday. This is my kind of place. Now let's go catch up with everybody at the bar. All right, guys, so we're back at the bar with our awesome team at Common Good. So thank you guys so much for having us. We've got Eliza, Sarah, and Kevin, so 3 of our masterminds between putting all this stuff together. So guys, for those that haven't been to Common Good yet, tell us sort of the quick origin story about what it's all about.
Common Good started because we wanted to redefine what was common and good in people's day-to-day lives. That great cup of coffee that you have in the morning, to the conversation you have at lunch with your friends, to that evening cocktail that you unwind the day in. And we really believed that being good to yourself meant that you could be good to others and to your community and to your environment. And we believe that started with space, how you felt as soon as you walked in, and what you were putting into your body, and who you were surrounding yourself with. So we tried to really work on all of those elements unopened.
And I think that's such a challenge with our society today too. And I think of like Italy and other parts of the world where no one's running in to grab a coffee and then going on with their day. Like everybody sits down and converses and meets with people and does that in a cool surrounding. I think that's a lot of what you guys are trying to bring into play here.
Yeah, and our menu really played off that too. Our breakfast and lunch menu was health focused, fueling your body throughout the day with good things that are kind of going to get you to that next part of your day. And then the evening was a little bit heavier and, savory and gluttonous because we really believe, life is about balance. It's about, being good to yourself. And we believe that's 85%, being healthy and focused, and then that other percent kind of indulging and treating yourself.
So you touched on space. I happen to love the interior here. Can you tell me a little bit about what your inspiration was?
Well, we worked with Ashley Montgomery Design. She really excels at bringing in that vintage, modern style with a lot of textures, play on colors, play on patterns. We researched a lot of spaces in Toronto that really resonated with us. When you walk into a space and you kind of have that moment where you're like, oh my goodness, what is this? Where have I landed on? And that's really where we started. And then from there, we kind of picked elements that we liked, the velvet and the wallpaper, the banquettes that were really conducive of people communicating and having that great conversation, a bar where people could sit, post up, have their morning espresso or their evening cocktail. And then from there, it was just how we felt about pulling the textures together.
Well, you've done an amazing job.
Yeah, it's tied together beautifully for sure.
Yeah.
Now we've touched on great coffee, we've touched on great cocktails, and then tell us a little bit about the food end. Kevin, that's your baby. I mean, tell us what people can expect on the food front.
We worked tirelessly on this menu to find that proper balance between, like Sarah said, what's healthy and good for your body, but then at the same time having fun with it. I mean, nobody wants to eat tofu every day of their life unless there's something particularly exciting about that tofu. And so I think we kind of came to this great balance with the people involved, where we figured out how to make healthy food taste good, and then know, as we talked about before, at nighttime it's still not unhealthy food, but it's a little bit more whole and rounded. Like as a classically trained chef, it's more up my alley. But it was a lot of fun coming up with this menu using things that like I hadn't really touched on before. So
very cool. Yeah, well, it definitely shows for sure, and we're looking forward to trying some of that. So guys, obviously we cover the real estate side of things. That's what we're all about. So do any of you guys have kind of a cool story or an interesting story about the first piece of real estate you ever bought?
I kind of, well, so I've lived all around the world, from New York to London, England to France, and then the next logical place was Barrie, Ontario.
Naturally, yeah, it's usually on the list, yeah.
That's a good progression. Yeah.
I'm at my peak now.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. You've made it.
My very first house here, my wife and I were pregnant, and we had our son, and this is the perfect place to raise him. And like the market in Barrie at the time was a little bit less hot, but it was still like just the perfect place to raise a family. It's got that great feel of kind of almost country, but still city. So, and being born and raised in Toronto, it was just a no-brainer for me to never live in Toronto again.
Very cool. Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. So what did you end up buying for your first house then?
So I live in a townhouse right now, and I'm just off the end unit, and it's a beautiful little place. It's got a nice park. It's in the south end, and it's just wonderful. I don't know. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Good for you.
No, it's awesome. We often take that for granted here for sure, and it takes people that have lived in a lot of other areas to truly appreciate what we have. So.
To know exactly what Barrie is worth, and it's definitely up there.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for doing what you do and bringing this to our city. Is something that's long overdue and much needed, and we're super excited about it. So, cheers to you guys.
Coming. Cheers.
Thank you for having us.
All right, guys, so we're down to that real estate part of our segment here. But before we get into that, we've talked a little bit about their cocktails here, but I just tried the Rough Magic, and it is absolutely unbelievable. So you have to come down and try that. You're going to absolutely love it.
So Scotty, we often ask our guests what their first real estate purchase is, but we don't ever talk about our own. So can you tell me about what your first real estate purchase was?
You put me on the spot, eh? So my wife and I first purchased our home together. We had just been married, talked about taking it slow, really, getting out there, looking around, doing that whole sort of thing. And then sure enough, we ran into a power sale that was on a street where my entire sort of family lives, or a good chunk of us anyway. So, which we also had said we maybe weren't gonna move into the same subdivision as the rest of the family, but sure enough, this power sale came up. We walked in, we saw a ton of potential, so we ended up actually being in competition. That was 7 or 8 years ago now, which was before the market really kind of exploded. So it was it was a great spot. Needed a lot of love though. It was in tough shape. So thank goodness my wife has a knack for that, and we've entirely renovated the whole house, and we're still there today. So definitely things happen quick for sure.
Well, thanks for sharing. Is purchasing a power sale any different than purchasing a normal piece of real estate, or not normal, but regular piece?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. When you go power sale, you're no longer dealing with, with an independent owner now. You're dealing with either the bank or whoever had the financing on the property. So it is a very different process because they will often, need the property to be on market for a certain period of time before they can accept an offer. They often won't allow to have any conditions in place or much more than financing or a home inspection in that particular case. A lot of times you'll have to do your inspections beforehand.
Right.
So, it's definitely a little bit more, and they certainly don't warranty that anything's going to work or anything like that. So the onus is all on the buyer when you're doing that. So they often need, a fair bit of love, these power sale type properties, but they also create great opportunities because they're really just looking to sort of sell for, fair market value or whatever they need to get back out of it. So it really creates a good opportunity if you can kind of go in there and put your own touch and feel on it. So, not for everybody, but somebody that wants to take on that renovation, that process, they create great opportunity for sure.
Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, let's get into
Cheers.
these cocktails.
Can I tell you how much I love the fact that my wine matches your shirt?
It's right up your alley.
It is.
So you've seen the gorgeous back bar, you've seen the incredible interior decor, and now you're seeing this absolutely stunning patio. This place truly has it all, Jules.
It really does. We just want to take a minute to thank the team here at the Common Good for having us out today. And if you haven't had the opportunity to check it out, we highly suggest you come down.
That's right, guys. These guys are new in town, so let's show them a little bit of Barrie love and make sure that they're nice and successful here because it's truly unlike anything else we have in this city. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And if you have any questions at all with anything specific in real estate that we can help out with, an updated value on your house, an update on your neighborhood, or just a great opportunity out there in the market, we're always here to help. So don't hesitate to reach out.
Absolutely.
Until next month. Cheers.